I'm Luke Summerhays.
I'm James J. Miles.
I'm James the Jasser Stewart.
And you're listening to Monster Mash.
And on this week's episode, we're hunting a smattering of subspecies from Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak.
Party had just begun. The guests included Wolfman, Dracula, and his son.
Played the mash,
They played the Monster Mash.
the monster mash.
It was a
Jericho coming down. Now you know. Break the wall down.
The Blood Orange Bishaten. A subspecies named for their auburn fur, inquisitive by nature, the Blood Orange Bishaten can never appear near human habitats. Their belly pouch is stuffed with combustible pine cones, and this subspecies has a distinct and focused fire breath. The breath itself isn't as dangerous as the pine cones it ignites. Reports indicate that it's possible to topple these monsters while they balance on their tails.
That's certainly true.
They can even appear in a human habitat.
Yeah, I was going to say never appear. That sounds like ominous. Like, why?
Yeah, no, it actually says the opposite.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I was very glad to see the Bish get a subspecies. I think we said when we were going through the base game that that was probably my favourite monster from the base game. So
Yeah, it was the one like got I think the biggest reaction like when we fought it for like the first time compared to everything else, like the big spin attack move that it has.
he's a crowd pleaser and he loves his flips. Yeah. So more Bish, more fun,
And more fire.
and more fire. Yes. Although, as we'll talk about in this episode, it is part of a long running issue that they seem to have, especially in this game, of having fire or blast subspecies. It's starting to grow a bit old.
What do I do with this monster? Make it fire.
Make it shoot fire. Yeah.
I mean,
And if it's
there
fire-based
is
or something else, you make it ice.
for at least two of them. There's genuine reasons in the mythology why they've gone with fire, including this one. Because his thing is like he throws fruit and stuff.
Yes.
And then like throwing burning pine cones is what he does in this one, and that comes from who's the fellow who brought fire to people? Prometheus.
Right.
It's like depicted with a pine cone. He brought fire on like a burning pine cone.
Oh.
And then that's what Gandalf does in The Hobbit as well, is like sends flaming pine cones. So I think it is a bit of a thing from like mythology and stuff.
Okay. That's
But see, what would have been more interesting is if they'd leaned into him being like having all kinds of poisons and stuff, like just upped what he does already with his fruits. I can see why they've gone with this.
You can't too similar though, right? Like if they just upped what the base one, like with the
that would be something I would expect more with like a master rank version for going
I
from
guess
high rank
that's
to master
true.
rank.
Yeah. Or an Apex Bishaten would do that maybe.
Yeah.
Like he's got like he leaves actual like pools of poison or something.
Mm-hmm. Whereas this lad, obviously being a fiery boy, feels like a subspecies in that sense.
Yep.
And
then like I think we talked about it in the episode. The original Bishaten was inspired by the Legend of the Monkey and the Crab.
Mm-hmm.
With and that also involves like I think he chucks the monkey in a fire at the end.
Oh, so this is the monkey that has now come out of the fire, and he's mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think from a fight standpoint, because he is an early game fight in Sunbreak, he didn't leave a great impression on me from a fight standpoint, because you usually bash him in, job done in about 10 minutes. It's not a tough battle at all.
He still has that main weakness that the regular Bishaten has, is like when he goes on his tail.
His tail, yeah.
Like easy to knock over, like so you just kind of, you've basically, if you fought the original, you fought the subspecies already, even before like doing it the first time, and you know what to kind of do, and he doesn't really throw too many crazy moves like that. Even though some of them are fun looking.
Yeah, I mean, I like the big slam he does with both the hands. It sends like a wave of fire from his hands. You got to kind of be directly facing the monster. Can't be like slightly off to the side, otherwise he'll catch you with it. Yeah. I do wish, talking about his like core weakness about the tail, that maybe they'd had some way for him to use the pine cones to prevent you from getting on the tail, like to really make him feel like a refresh. Like,
or if you just had a couple on the tail, so that when you hit the tail, like it explodes and damages you or something.
That'd be interesting.
Kind of think about it a
bit like a basil goose, but more of a negative impact rather than a positive impact of blowing it up. Yeah, I was thinking.
Or even if it doesn't damage you, it could be like it knocks you away, and it's
I was more thinking. But
yeah, I mean, he is
like a ring of fire out around from like around his tail. So if you do get too close,
he'll
Johnny Cash it. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Bishaten, cool design, easy forgettable fight. Blood Orange Bishaten, maybe even slightly cooler design, equally easy and forgettable fight.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd say the fight was forgettable in a sense, because I do still, and I'll distinctly remember obviously the first fight Jas was referring to earlier, where he does all the mad flips about and things. And
I guess that's fair, yeah.
I guess maybe some of that novelty factor is lost because you now know what he does, so it's maybe unrepeated.
I'm forgetting that when we first fought Bishaten, we weren't zipping around on our wire bugs this way and that way.
We're still getting to grips with the game.
Yeah,
and here
that
comes
first
somebody
hunt was
who
cool,
is
but yeah,
flying around. Whereas now
it's not so much
matches mobility, and it's maybe not as entertaining.
Yeah.
Then, yeah.
It's not that hunt was forgettable the first time. It's that it's negligible now.
Yeah, difficulty factor is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Game's gone.
Aurora Somnacanth. Light illuminates the dust scattered around this subspecies, making their fantastical appearance shimmer softly. Aurora Somnacanth sprays icy blasts in place of sleeping powder, attacking all who dare enter their territory. They use the permanent cold emanating from their bodies to freeze the vicinity, and then the frozen surface to move around swiftly.
This isn't what I was as sold on as even Blood Orange Bishaten, because Aurora, like regular Somnacanth, maybe it's just because you fight it in icy areas for the most part, already felt like an icy beast to me.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, I think that's just because he is normal Somnacanth, is the Frost Islands.
Yeah, you're really associated with the Frost Islands, so...
Yeah. Well, that's pretty sure that's where you first encounter it, even opposed to other locations.
And
yep.
I guess the colour palette as well, like the sleep gas being that kind of light blue colour, visually isn't that distinct from like its ice attacks as well. So it was definitely a tougher sell for me, this monster.
Yeah. It's well, when we were preparing for this episode, I was saying, like, right, so we're going to do an episode on the Blood Orange Bishaten, the Magma Almudron, and the Pyre and Kadaki. And then Jas is like, oh, there's a quest, but it's got a fourth monster, Aurora Somnacanth. I was like, oh yeah, Aurora Somnacanth, we need to do that one too.
Kind of says it all, doesn't it?
Well done, like, it's just kind of, it is forgettable, like, which is a shame, like, you can see there's kind of clear effort. There's always effort into the monster designs, but
yeah, that's why this podcast exists, right?
It's almost like it's hard, like with subspecies, like it's just like if you get really attached to a monster, like you almost worry, like when a subspecies comes around, like are they going to ruin it, or if it's like the other way around and it's not that great, like it can only go up. But,
yeah,
like kind of Somnacanth in general is just. Really, like you said, like a forgettable monster, like really.
I mean,
because you fight it really early, it's not particularly hard.
It's definitely not hard. He is a bit of a big punching bag.
Although I will say, the afflicted Aurora Somnacanth, like I'll avoid fighting that thing like all day because it's too hard.
I think we fought that a few times, right?
Yeah, we've done it a couple of times. Yeah, it's ridiculously hard, man. Like especially when you start leveling up those investigation quests.
Yeah,
It gets
definitely
worse and
brutal.
worse.
I mean, I suppose we are maybe shitting on it a little bit here, calling it forgettable and maybe not worth being a subspecies. It was the only monster that killed Luke in that hunt, so
that is true.
Like the big AOE attack, like is like a pretty cool move.
it is a cool move.
I just sat and watched it because I thought I was out of range.
Because it sucks in ice, and you think it's just going to do like a little like close AOE like around itself, like the normal Somnacanth does with its sleep attack, and it bursts out and it keeps going and keeps going and keeps going, and obviously kills Luke.
Yep. And as a proud member of NoFap, the last thing I want to do is burst.
Can't leave the note. We can't leave Aurora Somnacanth on that note.
Unfortunately, I was trying to look up, like, is there some special ice thing with mermaids? And it's not really. Obviously, there's a bunch of, like, kids' movies and novels called The Ice Mermaid, but in Japanese mythology, there's nothing special associating mermaids with ice or being frozen or winters. So,
yeah,
it is literally just, well, what element can we slap on it? A bit of ice.
What I say as well, like, at least it's like it's another Leviathan type monster.
Yes,
there isn't many in the series, so
and it's not fire.
Well, maybe it would have been interesting because you're saying about how the problem was you already associated with the Frost Islands.
Mm-hmm.
What if they'd made it this ice-type monster, but you still fought it in like the desert and the caverns? That could have at least made it a bit interesting.
I guess it just would feel a bit out of place because I do.
It could be like, it cools itself down to like live in that area or something.
It just would have made more
because
sense
something
if
interesting
they
with
made
it.
the normal Somnacanth, like its main home should have been the flooded forest.
I think,
which I think you do fight it there, but we just don't associate it with that one.
Yeah, I'm saying you do fight it there, but like if that was its only main area, you know, like just one attached to like one area.
Yeah,
I think my headcanon for it is maybe obviously it's lived in the Frost Islands for so long that it's started to take on frost as an offensive.
If I wanted to give them way more credit than they're due, you could tie it to the famous Japanese ghost story, right? Of like the you meet the woman up in the icy mountains, and it turns out that she's like an ice yokai. The one that what's the girl Glalie evolution?
Frostlass. I was about to ask about that.
Yeah. So the Yuki-onna is the name of the character. And it's like one of the most common famous Japanese yokai stories. And it is just like this long-haired woman in like a white or blue kimono. So Aurora Somnacanth does kind of fit that look. But, you know, saying they slapped ice on their mermaid one and then giving them the credit of saying that it's a reference to this Japanese mythology is probably give them a bit too much credit.
I guess. I think...
But that could have been a part of the decision-making.
Yeah, I mean... It is obviously a lot of the design ethos is yokai for the base game, and then maybe some more Western monsters, as we said, for Sunbreak. So that could have been part of the original. Maybe they had this planned out since the beginning that okay, we'll make a nice version because of this yokai. But I think you're probably not wrong. I think that's probably maybe giving them a bit too much credit.
But, you know, it is possible that that's what made them make that decision. Like, okay, ice.
Yep. Magma Almudron. Unlike normal Almudron, Magma Almudron live in the lava caverns and can manipulate magma instead of mud. They secrete a special liquid that melts the ground, allowing them to move freely through the earth. Known for their aggressive nature, they become extremely agitated when trespassers set foot on their turf, attacking them unrelentingly. So yeah.
Now this is the one that feels like a fire subspecies too far.
I really like this guy. Like, I think he's like out of the subspecies, like he's the best fight.
From a fight standpoint, he fixed a
Yeah.
dreadful fight from the base game. I hated fighting Almudron.
Yeah, normal Almudron was like a real pain. But this Magma is like, he's up there. Is like I'd say you can say he's like S tier monster. Like,
Maybe I'm just bitter
the
because he
fight
feels
alone.
like you're never getting Agnactor.
That's exactly the point I was saying. From a design standpoint, it's just making me think, where's Agnactor? Because
I'm actually going to bring that up because that was the thing when Magma Almudron was like first revealed in a trailer. Like everybody was just like, well, that means no Agnactor.
Yep.
I did think the same as well. Like, but I thought like going on and fighting like enough times. Like I don't really miss Agnactor. Like Magma Almudron's like that good. Such a fun fight. You
I
can
guess-
steal some of Agnactor's moves by jumping about.
I guess it's just it would be more interesting to have a brand new monster, but a separate monster rather than a subspecies. That's just being selfish. But I think, looking at it purely from a gameplay mechanical standpoint, I can't disagree with you there, Jas. Like I do enjoy fighting Magma Almudron. A big part of the
fun. Like you just fit so well into like what Sunbreak's about, like with the wirebug moves and the counter attacks. Like you've got a lot of moves you can counter attack. It's just one of the reasons it makes it so fun.
I think
Fair enough.
a big part of Almudron's issue is how much of a bollock it was getting in to fight him, and then he just made it worse by creating mud cities for you to run about on and just would fuck off to the end of the swamp and laugh at you.
See, I could appreciate what they were going for, right? Because it was meant to be, here's the monster where you need to use the wirebug's verticality to fight it.
Yeah.
I think they should kind of wrap that up then for the normal Almudron. Like so, it's like the mud cities, as you put it, like are there like more often, and you do need to focus more on like maybe attacking it from the air. Don't know if that'd be too much or make it more frustrating.
Well, if they should have leaned into it and just made it more of like a late game difficult monster, I guess. But yeah, it comes in sort of in the middle, but it's a lot more annoying than everything around it to fight. Whereas if they made it like, oh, this is a big boss monster to like designed to test that skill, you might have been more willing to forgive it. But yeah, Magma Almudron kind of ditches most of those like making little sandcastles around
He
itself.
makes like lava mounds and explodes them, but
it's not like, oh, I need to climb up this. It's I need to get the fuck out of here.
Most, and then it's easy to get out of the way. Yeah.
It also borrows a little bit of Lava Seoff, like how he kind of heats up certain parts of his body after he digs underground.
Yeah, fuck Agnactor. That's the monster that's missing from this game.
Fuck off.
Where's Lavasioth?
Absolutely not.
When Lavasioth isn't on screen, the audience should be asking, where's
Where's
Lavasioth?
Tapioff?
Be like that'll be one of the monsters in title update 4. Don't tempt the Frontier developers on this game because they won't put it in.
I'll be
I mean, we've
uninstalling.
got Geratados, so it's
Why did
very
we get
possible.
was it not an urgent? It was an urgent as well, wasn't it? like, why are you here? Like, go back the world and never come back.
Like a high rank urgent as well, I think.
Yeah. Like,
Was it not the first high rank urchin?
Yeah, you're like,
Like,
what
your
new
intro to
top
high
tier
rank.
monster am I going to get?
Welcome to high rank. You're not playing your daddy's Monster Hunter anymore.
Oh, man. But yes, Magma Almudron, a fun fight. However, dear God, please stop with the fire subspecies. Oh, wait. They didn't.
There's another one.
Okay,
Pyre, Rakna, Kadaki.
a subspecies of Rakna Kadaki filled with explosive material.
Their bodies are covered in a dark red.
Explosion resistant webbing.
An advanced chain of command lets them direct their offspring.
With a special sound-producing organ.
On offence, they strike their forelimbs like flints to induce explosions.
Connecting special detonation threads to offspring.
In the area,
Lets them expand.
The explosive.
Area.
To their positions.
Oh, hold on! You stole a few words off me there. Hang on. Why did we get this monster?
Because...
Oh, is there? There's that. Okay.
New ones are
Yeah, spiders are very associated with hell in Japanese mythology.
Really?
There's a famous Japanese story about a thief, like a minor criminal, not that bad of a dude.
Mm-hmm.
And he was sent to hell. But in his lifetime, he'd been kind to a spider and rescued it and taken it outside instead of killing it. And the spider sent down a thread that he could use to climb up from hell to heaven. But then everyone else from hell started to climb up after him. And he freaked out and didn't want to let them. And in the process of trying to cut the web so they couldn't climb up, he fell back down to hell as well. But it's a very famous story. And it's also one which I didn't read about it in a bloody comic or whatever. I was told it the first time by one of my Japanese colleagues because she was amazed that I always save spiders instead of killing them. And she's like, oh, well, at least you'll never go to hell. And I was like, what?
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, that's why you often see, well, I say often, I can think of this and Bayonetta, but I'm sure there's others as well. Oh, and
Yes.
Quelaag, but like a sort of, like a fiery spider, a hellish spider, is kind of a big deal in Japanese sort of folklore and mythology and pop
I
culture.
guess that's why the Pyre Kadaki kind of leans into throwing out more of the small Pyre Kadakis on its web.
Yeah.
It mentions in the description there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and the Rakna now being a source of fire means that they're way more of a element than the Ragnarokni were.
Mm.
I mean, they're still not exactly a huge issue, but at least they could theoretically do some damage. And also the sort of the horned face is super demonic on the Pyre version.
I suppose then this is almost like the inverse of the Magma Almudron in that, from a design standpoint, why did we get the Magma Almudron? But from a fight standpoint, I'm glad we did. Whereas now that you've told me the lore, I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense for the Pyre Kadaki. I get that. But
Yeah, you can look at it and see that it's got a Satan face and stuff.
Yeah. But from a fight standpoint, it's not that different.
Oh, yeah, because Rakna kind of did a bunch of fire stuff anyway, right?
Yeah. That's why.
Fire attacks, but it's more it's the detonation stuff that Pyre does. It's more.
Well, then they should have gone full hog and made it blast, right?
Mm.
To me, we were talking about this earlier. This feels like the sort of monster that would have been the master rank version of the Pyre, of the regular Rakna Kadaki. Sorry.
Mm. Sorry,
like some of his detonation moves. Okay, that's regular Rakna Kadaki's new move for master rank. But
or like I said with Bishaten, at least maybe just an apex.
Mm-hmm.
If it is too different to be just a master, but yeah.
But it doesn't feel like it needed to be a whole new monster from a fight standpoint.
A whole new monster.
I was going to say, you mentioned Blast there, and I think the Monster Hunter developers are they're just scared of Blast in general, because of how strong it was in 3U, and they don't want to go there again, and I think that's why they want to limit how many
fear what they
Blast
created.
monsters they make. Because what if they wanted to make Pyre Kadakis weapons it was Blast, and then they're really strong, and you've got kind of a similar balance problem.
It's easy. You just go into the code and you take the number what is strong and you put a smaller number in there.
Yeah.
Fucking, I can do that. Hire me, Capcom, cowards.
Yeah, you'll be the balance and keep it.
You take a spider and then instead of making it fire, you put an interesting element. Done.
Dragon spider.
Yeah. I mean, sick.
Dragon flying wyvern. So
I would like a spider elder dragon, please. More interesting elder dragons. No more fire. No more fire subspecies. He says, knowing that in the post-game release stuff, we've already had a couple.
But kind of cool. I like it.
Yeah, the design's really cool.
I can take or leave it. That's your Pyre, Rakna, Kadaki review from Monster Mash.
You know what's happened since we talked about the Rakna Kadaki and the Rakna the first time?
What's happened?
The Pokemon that is basically a Rakna has come out.
Oh, Christ, which one was that?
Tarantula.
Yes.
It's the same thing. It's just, a round ball of web. Had some legs poking out the bottom.
I did think that when I caught that lad. I suppose its evolution is not very much like that at all, but like the base version, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I think I said the same when I did the episode on that Pokemon in my Pokemon podcast. But there you go.
Chris Brown synergy.
Yep. Make sure you listen to Luke Loves Pokemon on Twitter and Facebook at Luke Loves PKMN. Found wherever good podcasts are found. Much bigger numbers than this one.
It's not about the numbers, it's about the love.
Yep. I also love that one more. I don't. This one is more fun for me to listen back to because it's got banter with the lads.
Okay. Well, next time, Jas seems to think that we can get a whole episode about another subspecies, even though we've just done 4 in 1. What a madman! Will he prove to be true? You'll have to wait till next time to find out. Until then, look. Oh, who cares? Look, for those that do care, where can we be found?
We can find us on Twitter at Monster Mash Pod. We're also on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, everywhere podcasts can be found. Just make sure you search Monster Mash Podcast, give us a like and subscribe, a rate and review, and tell your Monster Hunter playing friends, like, hey, check out these lads. They know what they're on about, and they're well funny, and they're hot.
Some of those statements were false.
I don't think so.
And
Actually, we don't know what we're talking about, to be fair.
that was the one I was on about.
That was the one.
We're absolutely sexy, funny beasts, but we're clueless. And Jas, what can they tweet at Andyman949?
You can tweet at Andyman949 and just send them suggestions of what elements future subspecies should be, and then send it on.
Or just send him a picture of your sexy, funny beast.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's it. We appreciate
That's
that.
better.
See ya.
Catch us next time.
Cheerio.
I listen to it the minimal amount so that I can, when it comes live, I can actually listen to it. Right, how do I do this? Right, give me a second, I'm doing something.
No idea how, like, if it's like squares like one after the other, or it starts off with 2 and then.
Probably start with 2.
No idea how, like, if it's like
as you kill them,
squares like one after the other, or it starts off.
Right, lads.
Some of the arenas can be a bit
You
weird
are
though,
live
like.
on Twitch.
Oh,
Twitch.
So that was make it a lot easier for me to have a video version of the HUD.
Video
because
version.
it should be done, yeah.
I feel like a modern podcast show now. We've figured out technology.
Although they've just got me on the video.
Yeah, so don't spend the first 10 minutes of the hunt in the tent and having a few food this time. Just eat before
I'm
we
eating
go.
now, I'm eating now.
At least he's got nowhere to run anyway, like when it's in the arena, so... Tent is the only place he can hide.
Do you just record then for the hunt?
Oh, we probably should, just in case, right?
Right, okay.
This doesn't sound so good.
Let me know when you're ready. You may want to get Craig in the Discord call as well.
Yep.
Yep.
Now recording.
Now recording. And I also want my Audacity.
I'm also recording.
I am also recording.
One recording. Ha ha ha. Two recordings. Ha ha. 3, 2, 1. Listen.
You
can't.
can't.
It's
Lovely,
live.
That's our sync
That's
now
how we
streamed
sync
and revealed to the world.
Yep. On my officially family-friendly Pokemon Twitch channel.
No. We should have done the Bug Snacks one. What have we done?
Delete the VOD.
I will when I've saved it.
Internet.
Need ready. Yeah, you need ready up, look.
I'm still eating. They wouldn't let me skip the cutscene. And there's no point taking items, right? Because it's arena.
You can still take items.
You can still take items.
I haven't done much arena.
It's not the type of arena you're thinking of.
Oh, okay. It's not an arena quest. It's just in the arena.
Yes.
I see. And I do have to think about my sword.
Yes. You don't get a handy pre-made loadout.
I feel like water's going to be good against most of them.
Yeah. Or for 3 of them and then fire for Aurora can't.
I've already got my strat, and it's raw.
Raw sword.
No ketchup. Just sauce.
Let's go.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't have this quest unlocked. Maybe you have to be a certain...
It is like it's the top of the top, like MR.
You got to be a
quest.
big dick player.
Yeah, I guess you and me, look, don't have this quest.
I haven't checked. Might have it. Let's be real. In this context, Jas is the big dick player.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Let's take the start.
Which one are we getting over this way first? Who's gonna come and say hello? Nope. Is that monkey on? Oh, I think we can. There we go.
Right, let's get him. Give him what for.
Where would you rate this arena, like, in the other arenas, compared to the other arenas you've played in Monster Hunter?
I don't have thoughts on the arenas, I'm afraid. Circular wall.
So most of them are really
I mean,
like,
yeah,
like kind of
it's a bit
differences.
like
I don't
Sometimes
think
they're
puzzles, I probably like it
sometimes they have a
best, don't I?
fence. Like
I don't remember the one in World having a wall though.
You might be right, actually. I did very little
was always
in the wall in the world one, though. Like, there's 1 or 2 quests you had to do, and that was literally what I did.
There's 2, right? There's 2 arenas in World.
Yeah, there's one where you had to like go through a little tunnel at the start to actually get to the arena, and there was loads of like cannons and stuff around the edge of the arena. Is that right?
Yeah, ballistas
Sounds about
and
right.
stuff,
Yeah. The old cannon meta.
Cannon meta.
Probably should have wall slammed the Aurora so we're not focusing on a different monster, but oh well, it's been a while since I've played.
Oh, look at that. The freaking Mounting Master has forgotten his techniques.
Yep. Oh well, we'll get the mount anyway right away, so... It's actually worked out quite nicely. Je suis monté.
Del Monte.
That was the call out for if you played with someone French and 3DS ones.
I'm like a big meme in the Monster Hunter community.
I can imagine. Bonjour, je suis monté. Le petit filou.
You own the Bishaten now?
Gérard Depardieu.
Je n'ai pas le songe, ce père Bob.
Il est monté dans le voyage à la supermarché.
It reminds me of the Flight of the Conchords, like
That's
French song.
exactly what I was going for. Glad someone got it.
Fudu fa fa. Aïe.
Fa fa fa.
Parlez-vous les Français? Eh, non.
Oh, one down.
Going for the noob carve.
I see, boy.
Didn't really work.
I just carved like 3 meters from the monster because I got hit while I was carving.
Yeah, I had the same thing.
Only after me, man. I was trying to get my cards and it's like, no. Like me.
Noob carve. Oh, it's going to let me noob carve, but I think I'm going to get hit by a super move for my troubles.
These shinies instead.
Oh no, I was actually...
Oh, fucking hell!
Hey!
I was nowhere near it!
It was a big like beam attack. Or Doken type.
I was just watching Jay like, he's gonna faint, and it got me.
Calculated, my friend, calculated. I knew what I was doing.
Was there like Aurora kind of just like, who's the one that's furthest away? Attack that one.
Mug me off a treat.
I think it respected my moxie, you know, going for a carve whilst it was charging its super attack.
The sharpen.
Any plans to watch the Royal Rumble this weekend, Jess?
Maybe. Might just watch the Rumble match itself, like, later.
Probably the way to do it. I am
So,
morbidly
am I
curious
correct
about the...
that Vince McMahon has come back already?
Yeah, fucking ridiculous. He's not in a creative role, but he's still fucking in CEO position. Supposedly he's just there to supervise the sale of the company, but...
Means he'll medal eventually.
Yeah, exactly. I'll believe
if he hasn't already.
Yeah, but all of our problems will be solved when it's sold to the Saudis.
Yeah, it's crazy. That was supposedly a very real rumour.
Say goodbye to the women's division.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about
It's alright, mate. I mean, I'm over it. I haven't really watched it for years.
that. There's more of that upswing Jay there.
I'm morbidly curious by Bray Wyatt's match, which is a Mountain Dew pitch black match. Which supposedly is going to be a match.
Why they sponsored it? Like, that's so weird.
I love when they do shit that's like that obvious.
They did a match for. Do you remember Batista was in a really terrible looking zombie film set in LA?
Yeah, it was
Las
like
Vegas
a big
even.
Netflix release, right?
Yeah, that's right. So they did a tie-in with that film, where at the end of the match, some zombies came out and started eating the Miz.
Because my main memory of that zombie film is my friend Matty trying to convince me it's good. And just being like, I know it's not, man.
I could tell by the trailers it looked shocking. Maybe something you'd chuck off your board for a couple hours, but nah.
I'm not that into zombie shit. It's got to be really good for me to bother.
That's true. I thought that'd be, I suppose, one of the things you would be into because you like your monsters and
Yeah, but they're not interesting monsters. They're just dead blokes shuffling about. Ooh.
it can
They
be
watched Dawn of the
interesting.
Dead last night.
They definitely can be. Like stuff like 28 Days Later, really interesting.
Yeah, or like
zombie.
the good resis I'm into, but then you've got boring, overrated shit like Last of Us and stuff like that.
Yes, mate.
Watched the first episode of the TV show of that, and it was pretty good.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's. I mean, they already had a 7 out of 10 TV script to
So at
work
the same
with.
time, we're going to
So.
have to split these up. Take it over here.
Like Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal's good.
Which one are you fighting?
Have you seen the
Fighting
stuff
the
going around
Almudron.
where it's like, yeah, he's like never been in anything below a 90% Rotten Tomatoes or whatever.
I can believe it. I mean, he was in Game of Thrones when it was good.
Yeah,
so,
he literally ducked out like right before it got shit.
Yep. He's like, I can see. Well,
Oh, you can't see shit.
yeah. Character had didn't have much longer to live, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was very ironic that he left and the show went downhill not long after that.
Oh, knocked him out of the sky though. I think he killed him.
No, I think
The
I
Magma
still
Almudron,
have
that is,
it.
not Pedro Pascal.
Gonna say, all right, calm down, Mountain.
Let them fight. Oh, speaking of great monster things, I did watch The Meg this week.
Oh yes.
I'm going to be recording my
pretty
Meg
good. I
podcast
like
as soon as we're done, basically.
Yeah, you need to give us a warning when you're ready for us to watch the Monster Hunter movie.
It's going to be soon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 90 minutes of a fine time. Like,
No, I am.
Pro, I was seeing worse films, to be honest.
Yeah,
definitely
exactly.
so.
I am.
It's fine.
I am playing it up. Like I'm sure I'll get a thrill out of seeing monsters on a big
Yeah,
movie,
I mean, like,
big with some budget.
especially on this podcast,
I'm going to die here.
where we are talking Monster Hunter, we will have some complaints. But
Can't imagine some of the complaints about that film from what I've heard. Cinematic masterpiece, no?
if you're like, I want to see some big CGI beasties fuck some shit up, do worse.
Get away, man. All I do is heal game.
Still wish they'd gone full in and had like Gore Magala and Raphaelos fighting in New York City.
It does not have the budget, man.
I would have loved it, man. Would have
Well,
loved
you should have gone and seen it multiple times so they'd have the budget for a bigger sequel. So it's on you,
it.
mate.
Saving all my money to go see Avatar 15 times, of course.
Well, then I can only approve.
I've even seen it once, mate. But yeah.
Fucking cunt. I nearly went for my fourth
only-
the other day because I was in Tokyo and I could have gone seen it in IMAX.
There's only one film that I'm interested in seeing, and it's the new Puss in Boots.
I want to see that, but
That'd be really good.
it might be. I don't know if it'll get an English release here.
Ah, that'd be a shame.
Most
Suppose it'd be my
animated
kids'
films don't.
films. Yeah.
Because like you can't. I mean, it's dubbed either way, right? So why would they bother? But apparently the cinema in Matsumoto sometimes does, so I'll look into it. Oh, fucking hell. Cheeky cow. A life powder would be appreciated.
Oh
Very much
shit!
so.
I'm
Right
not
about
knocked
now,
over.
because I am stunned.
Oh, I keep getting knocked over. Then Jazz got you.
Thanks, Jazz.
2.
I managed to get a potion off after the first one, but thanks.
I was doing my part. Both monsters were whacking me about, so they weren't going for you. So.
Yep.
In a roundabout way, I was your life powder.
You're always my life powder, mate.
Oh, cheers, man. Surprised by how little we've used defense in this hunt. Like maybe twice.
They have been sticking pretty close together. Yeah, it is up. We could do it. Proc it now.
Doesn't really last that long. Oh.
I'm going to cock this up. Well, I will if I run up the wall. Try it now. There we go.
Yeah.
Just
After
in time
me.
for him to do the big explosion.
We're not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with us.
Oh.
Oh, well, great. Oh, nice opportunity to carve.
Actually, if I can swing there.
Oh dear. Oh, sharpen up, I suppose. Get ready for fighting the spider.
El Speedre.
What was the plan going to be if we didn't have this quest? We're going to have to like fight all 4 individually? Or...
Yeah, I guess we'd have done 1 each, but just done 3. Because I guess I was just completely forgetting Aurora Somnacanth.
Probably would have been like double ones at least anyway, right?
We could have found something. Yeah. We would have given Jas a double and me and you would have taken 1 each of the other 2.
We would have got the easier 2 as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh! You fucking idiot.
You too.
I went and slapped it in one of its feet because I thought that was its head. Paralyzed. Whoa.
Good old Coldplay. You Coldplay fan, Luke, or?
I actually like Coldplay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know
don't-
if I'd call myself a Coldplay fan. But you know,
Okay, that's maybe a bit strong. They
know.
have good songs.
Yeah, they have good songs. You can listen along.
Yeah.
You listen along, unlike other songs.
There are certainly songs where I'm like, nah. I guess what I mean is you can sing along, right?
Yeah.
They're usually not that complicated. You can pick them up. Someone puts it on at karaoke, I'll probably do it.
They usually have like one good sing-along bop every 5 years or so. So yeah.
Wait, I've seen this. Are they still putting stuff out?
Yeah, they
I
did.
can't remember the last time I heard a new Coldplay.
I remember. Was it called like Adventure of a Lifetime or something like that? They did that semi-recently, and I say semi-recently, it was probably still about 5 years ago.
Right.
But
But what even is time anymore, you know?
well, that's it. I think 2020 to 2020 till now pretty much was just a blur. So yeah.
Well, folks, hope you enjoyed that, whatever that was.
Ended on a really sobering note about the concept of time and how we're all going to die someday.
Well, that's what happens when you talk about fucking Coldplay, mate.
Yeah, fair.
Bye!
Peace.
Rio.